All right, and we are live. Charlotte Motor Speedway. This is the Championship Online Racing Association. Round number two here tonight, guys. This is going to be the Silverado Trucks versus Charlotte Motor Speedway. In the booth with me tonight, Matthew Close, and my name is JD Webb. I'm the executive producer for ETV Live and filling in for Ted Manning, who's celebrating Mother's Day with his wife here tonight. And I'll tell you, Matt, why don't we quickly run down through the points as they stand coming to Charlotte tonight. I'll take the top five. You can cover the bottom five. Brandon Cody starting out at the top with 117 points. He won the race last week. Jay Smith, he comes in 9 points behind Brandon and at 108 points. Sharing that seat with him is Mark Gloy, Matt. He's also 9 points behind the leader up there. James Brown, he sits 17 points behind Brandon Cody.
Yeah, 6 back in points. You got Barry Wilborn with 100 points, tied right there at James Brown. Behind you got Vincent Viney, 98 points. Behind him, you got Kenneth O'Keefe with number 97 points. And next, you got Mark Arthur in the 88 with 88 points, going off after the first race of the season, JD.
You bet. And of course, old JD, the Cowboy, being a little bit rusty in the booth, I neglected Kevin Van up there. He sits in fourth position up there. He's 16 points behind the leader. But I'll tell you what, it's going to be a fun night tonight here under the lights at Charlotte Motor Speedway, located in Concord, North Carolina. 140,000 fans on site tonight. Speedway Motorsports Incorporated owns this track. This place opened up in 1959, or 1960 rather, broke ground in 1959. So it's been around here for quite a while. Bruton Smith and Curtis Turner, those are the two that built this place. Asphalt track, 1.5 miles, 4 turns, and Matt, the turns are banked at 24 degrees, just like Texas Motor Speedway. Tri-oval at 5, backstretch a little bit of 5-degree banking there too, but I believe that's just for drainage when it rains. So, but I'll tell you what, tonight, 125 laps at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and we're counting down.
Yeah, and they're doing their qualifying right now, JD, but it's a D-shaped oval, like you mentioned. It's a mile-and-a-half long D-shaped oval with some high banking here. The difference I really noticed between here and places like Texas or Atlanta is Charlotte's just got such smooth transitions going into the turns and coming out.
You bet. And I'll tell you what, why don't we go ahead and take it down trackside. The Cactus Cuties will present our national anthem tonight.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
The Cactus Cuties with our national anthem. I'll tell you a big thank you to the virtual Thunderbirds for the flyover. Tremendous group. I had the pleasure of meeting one of their pilots, actually several of their pilots here a few weeks back. And I'll tell you, some precision flying there. In the meantime, Charlotte Motor Speedway, round number 2. Let's take them down through the lineup tonight here, Matt. Starting out on the pole in the number 48 machine on the inside, Dallas Maracle. On the outside of row number 1 in that number 4 machine, Kevin Vaughn.
Inside row 2, you've got the number 15, David Lano, and on the outside of him, a strong competitor all race last week, the number 27 of Mark Loy.
Michael Churchman, he'll be starting in 5th position on the inside. In 6th position, the number 73, Kenneth O'Keefe.
7th, you've got the 07 of Gary Boyer, and on the outside of him, the number 40 of David Wank.
And in 9th position on the inside, in the number 28, Mark Arthur. On the outside, in 10th position, the number 12 of Bruce Bouchard.
Number 24, starting in 11th position, you got Alan Larson, sponsored by ETV Live. He's going along with the sponsorship there tonight, JD, and outside of him, Eric Sharp.
And in row 7, Buddy Waters in the 46th machine. He'll start 13th. Starting 14th, beside him on the outside, the 14 of Mark Montanari.
Starting 15th, you got the number 11 of James Brown, and starting 16th, you got the 69 of Dale Somali.
And starting in 17th in that number 81 machine, Colton Burke, Ralph Shipman. He'll start 18th position in the number 23 car.
Starting on the inside in 19th, you got the 71 of Vincent Vinny, and on the outside of him, rounding out your top 20, the 29 of John Klickner.
And Brandon Cody, he'll be starting in 30th position. Brandon Cody, remember, he sits at the top of the heap here in round number 2. Norman Seidlich, he'll start the 9 machine in 22nd position on the outside. Real quickly through the field, Daniel Miller, Verlis Felkins, David Whiteside, Jonathan Smith, Gordon Burke the second. Gordon Burke's daughter sings the national anthem last week here. And John Larson, Terry Hurley, William Rosenberger. I don't believe they took any time, neither did Alan Felkins guys, so I'm not quite sure what happened to these two guys. But I'll tell you what, getting warmed up, pace car will lead them to the green here just shortly as they work down the backstretch here into turn 3 and 4. And Matt, I'll tell you what, 125 laps here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. This will be quite the spectacle, I'm sure. Remember, Brandon Cody, who's starting deep in the field, is your points leader coming into the race tonight. As the pace car gets set to pull down pit road, the green flag, he's looking down the line here. Everything looks pretty good. The flag goes in the air, and we will be racing here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. 125 on the board. Good start going off into turn 1.
Yeah, you got that 48 on the inside, the preferred line on the restarts here. But definitely as they get going here, JD, that outside line's a little bit slicker when they're coming down the straightaways.
Been a long time since I've been behind the wheel at Charlotte Motor Speedway, Cowboy, but I'll tell you what, in for a night of fun racing here tonight for sure. It's a complete lap 1. Back here in about 9th position, David Wank in the 40 machine back here. Looking at the bumper of Mark Arthur up here in the front, but I'll tell you what, there is a gaggle of cars up there fighting for that first position. All the way up into the front, though, Dallas Maracle doing a fine job hanging on to that lead. Mark Loy sits right behind him in 3rd position, that 27 truck.
Yeah, Mark Loy able to slip in there as they're going through the middle of the turn, but Kenneth O'Keefe getting under him as they enter turn 3 and bringing that 15 of David Lano along with him.
You know, you get stuck on the top side up here at Charlotte, or at least any one of these mile-and-a-half tracks, and you're pretty much going to go backwards here for a while until you can drop to the bottom. I know the preferred line around Charlotte for most of these guys is going to be that bottom line, but look for some topside action up here as well as we go down the backstretch. But I'll tell you what, Michael Churchman's 88 car, he's in 6th position back here. Looked like he was going to put the bumper to the number 4 machine up here, that TMS machine, but decided against it. But I'll tell you what I'm looking for. There's supposed to be a truck out here, guys, with the ETV Live LSR TV logo on it. I believe I found it. Hey, take a look at car number. How about trucks, Cowboy? Truck number 24, 10th position. That's Alan Larson.
actually back in the field off the pace. You had the number 11, James Brown, was in 15th position. Got in the grass a little bit here going through the tri-oval, guys, and just slid it on through the grass. No damage on that car, but definitely sending him to the back of this pack.
And that is absolutely no man's land when you cross that line and get down into that grass back here. But hey, how about the number 16 machine, 27th position, almost catching the apron there, manages to stay on the track. But I tell you, once you tangle with that apron line down there, Matt, that could be dangerous territory if you can't get it back under control. As Verlis Falcons in that number 16 machine, motors on by, 26th position.
Looking back up front, guys, going through 4 right now. You got Dallas Marcel on the outside. And right below him, 27, Mark Lloyd, third in points, looking to pick up the points lead after the race tonight. But Kenneth O'Keefe wrecked at the end of last week's race, but here to redeem himself tonight. He's almost up to second place.
And we've got one down on the apron here. I want to say contact between, looks like the 9 car, and I'm thinking that's going to be the 01 machine. Through the tri-oval. Don't know whether Laura can get the buttons on it here, but the 9 makes contact with the, I want to say that's the 01 machine. I'm not quite sure. But sends the 01 machine down across the apron, manages to hang on to it, though.
Kenneth O'Keefe almost went for the lead there through 1 and 2. Slid up to Mark Lloyd a little bit and decided he's going to let off and give that position back. JD, it's a little early in this race. But that giving Mark Lloyd some of his own space to figure out what he's got to get going on right now.
You bet. Still looking up here, the 24 car, Brandon Cody up here, 30th, number 30 in the 15th position up here. So he's trying to get up to the front here, making contact with the 30 car here just a minute ago, but they got it all sorted out. But I tell you what, Brandon Cody, who's your points leader coming into the race tonight, started 21st here at Charlotte. So he's got quite a ways to go here, already up to 15th position, guys. So look for Brandon Cody to move that number 30 machine of his to the front.
Yeah, but Brandon Cody on the outside right now, battling hard with 24 of Alan Larson as they go into 1. And Larson gets on the apron, almost slides up, but there's somebody down there, JD, blowing up with some damage on the truck.
You bet. Let's take it around here and see if I can figure out who that is here.
JD, that's the 16 of Verlis Falcons down there, but see if you can't rewind it back and tell us a little bit of what went on.
You bet. Rolling it backwards here. He actually goes for an e-ticket ride. He catches the grass coming through the trial here. Can't hang on to it. Oh, spins it out inside wall at the end of pit road, guys. Number 16 car all but done for the night here at Charlotte. No caution here, guys, as he stays off the track. But Verlis Falcons, a lot of damage to that number 16 car of his, and he may be done for the night here, guys.
And JD, I just found another victim of that slippery dog leg. The number 23 of Ralph Shipman getting loose going through there. So that's another car with heavy damage on it due to the tri-oval. And I'm hearing caution out for the first time tonight on lap 8.
All right, as we look for the caution here. Don't know what, I see somebody, it looks like it's going to be the number 9 car, 23rd position, guys. It's going to be Norman Sidlick. Trying to look and see what happened to him. Don't know whether he had any help or not. But coming off of turn 4, heading for the front stretch here, gets into the tri-oval in pretty good shape. Oh, he gets sideways. He gets sideways in a tri-oval, and he gets nailed by the number 77 machine of Gordon Burke, and that's going to put both of those guys off into the wall. Burke takes a hard hit into the outside wall.
Hey, as I'm looking here, we're gonna probably see a few guys pit, take those fresh tires, and because you got a little bit of a fall off here between the beginning and the end of the run. You got almost over half a second here. It looks like everybody's coming down pit road, but JD, just as for perspective, we've seen that the 4 guys happen in the first 12 laps, and so when you come to the tri-oval here at Charlotte, it's slippery, and these trucks, you're making them light as possible when you go to down the stretch with all your aero downforce and everything. But they're doing everything but taking off. Those things are so light going down these straightaways.
You know, I just came out of a race at Texas Motor Speedway. It was actually a benefit race that we just did in conjunction with Glacier TV, and the same thing happened on there, guys. They were in the cars over there, but very similar problem here with that tri-oval coming down through there, and I got a lot of guys just misjudging the tri-oval and getting real loose. But I understand we did have a problem down on pit road with one of these guys.
Yeah, that was the 88 of Michael Churchma. He overran his pit stall, and then to top it off, JD, he went full bore reverse and caused some damage to that rear end of the race car, backing it back up into the stall. So costing him a lot of positions and some downforce help there on the corner panel. Not too smart of an idea.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, this is Charlotte Motor Speedway, and it's claimed the best of the best here for sure, at one time or another. But as long as that spoiler stays straight up in the air, you know, you can take some damage on the back end of these things here, but you got to keep that spoiler straight up in the air. Otherwise, the back end's just going to come right on around with you. Now, you know, talking about this tri-oval, that's dangerous territory, you know, if you can't keep your car in pretty good shape. So once it gets loose on you, got to pay attention coming off of turn 4, for sure.
Yeah, JD, some pit strategy here by the 12 of Bruce Bouchard and Vincent Vinny. They both went down and took 2 tires, putting them out front of Kenneth O'Keefe.
All right, 14 laps in the books here, 125 on the board. We're at Charlotte Motor Speedway here tonight under the lights. This is Cora, Championship Online Racing Association. Want to take a few minutes and talk about them for just a little bit. And I'll tell you something, Championship Online Racing Association qualifying 3 nights a week for a shot at the Sunday Money Super Speedway Series. That's where we're at here tonight. Drivers pay an entry fee and then participate in the Sunday Money. Hey, try to win a trip to the bank, cowboy. You can visit them at Cora M's. Let me see if I can get this right. Kind of an unusual URL, but get a pencil and write this down. Cora cmk.nig.com, or you can just Google them, Championship Online Racing Association. How's that? Everybody Googles nowadays, don't they?
Yeah, JD, I don't know what I would do without that Google. You can go probably right in there, type in Cora Championship Online Racing Association. It'll be the first thing up there with that new Google Smart Search.
I'll tell you what, how about a lot of kids tell me that they got their education off of Google?
Nah, JD, you gotta go right. It's YouTube videos. You can catch all our e-plays over there on YouTube after John and Laura get them loaded up, too.
YouTube and Google. Who needs to go to school, right?
Yeah, exactly. You get all those how-to videos and everything. I swear that's how I fixed my car last summer when it was leaking oil all over the place.
All right, 15 laps in the books here at Charlotte. Now, the unusual thing is we've got Verlis Falcons out in front here in that 16 machine. I don't think he is not the actual leader. I believe he's going to be at the tail end of the lead lap here.
And JD, if I'm looking at this right, he should be going by the pace car, and there he goes. He's got to get his lap back. He's sleeping there on the job.
There you go. And lights are out on the pace car, so and it's you know, a mile and a half, it's 60, 70 miles an hour. It's a long ways around this place. But starting out in front, 71 machine, Vincent Viney, he'll pick up the green flag this time. Bruce Bouchard up on the outside in that 12 truck. The 73 truck of Kenneth O'Keefe, Dallas Markle, and David Wink make up your top 5 on the restart. Mark Gloy, who sits third to Brandon Cody. Now, Mark Gloy, he's only 9 points off the lead here, Cowboys. So I'll tell you what, Mark Gloy sitting inside the top 10 in 6th position on the restart here, guys, as we get set to go green. Pace car is off, going down pit road. The green flag will be coming up here momentarily, and we'll get off to round number 2 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Even start as they come across the line. 71 getting a little bit of a push from Kenneth O'Keefe going down into the turn.
I didn't know you could bump draft at a track like this.
Well, JD, we do it all the time. Don't worry about it.
Hey, you know what? I'm old school, so but I tell you what, they are absolutely battling it out up here in the front from about Mark going forward. 27 truck up here, 5th position. They got them up on the top, on the bottom here. Everybody looking for that #1 position coming across the line. I don't know if bonus points count here at the Championship Online Racing Association, but I'll tell you what, I guess you get all you can here. But there is a trophy at the end of the season. I believe it's, I think it's something around $100 for the championship trophy here at Cora. Now, the winner of tonight's race, I believe they get $30, and it kind of breaks down 30, like 30, 10, $5, something in that nature. But I'll tell you what, this is the Sunday Money Series, and it's a lot of fun. A lot of guys get involved with this.
40, David Wank just going for a ride through the grass in the tribal there, up front to the back of the pack. It's just the same old story again, these guys not learning the lesson from everybody else. But JD, just talking about the 12 and the 71, they took 2 tires on that pit stop, picked up about 10 positions. That's Bruce Bouchard and Vincent Finney. So far, they got stuck out on the high line. It's paying off for them. They're running 4th and 5th right now.
Yeah, hey, take it back here to car number 22. This is going to be Eric Sharp back here, 11th position, coming off of backstretch, going into turn 3 here. The 69 machine is going to make contact with the 22. 22 gets all but sideways, Cowboy, and saves it. And I'll tell you what, that could have been a huge disastrous wreck here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Manages to hang on to that machine. And there was somebody behind him that just, they had to have gotten on the brakes, kind of pick it up here and see who that was. Might have been a 00 machine here. No, it wasn't a 00. Daniel Miller was able to squeak on by. But I think it was a 19 machine of David Whiteside, guys. Almost tangles with the 22 as he gets sideways and has to get on the brakes and get on them hard. But I'll tell you what, good move by that 22 machine.
Lap 20 here, JD. Michael Cheersma in 5th place before the caution, screwed up his pit stall all the way back to 21st. Now he's battled his way back up to 13th. We're taking the 12th place position as they enter turn 1 from David Leno.
And David Leno on the bottom down there, the 15 machine. That's going to be the machine of Ralph, or Ralph. Who the hell is Ralph? Alan Larson in that. Or no, by God, that is David Lano. Apparently, we've got a couple of ETV machines out here, guys.
Yeah, I was looking at that as we go through the field, and more of them seem to have that ETV Live logo appearing on their corner panels.
Hey, that makes for good business. I know Alan Larson was running the same paint. I can't even talk tonight. I've been doing too much talking. Alan Larson runs the same paint scheme as the 15 machine does. So Alan Larson currently in 15th position in that 24 truck.
Out front though, JD, I don't know if Laura can go get a cue back on that. Coming through 4, an abrupt lead change. Mark Lloyd bumps Kenneth O'Keefe all out of whack as they went through 4 and took the lead from him as they went through the D shape up front here across the start-finish line.
Was that the chrome horn that came out here at Charlotte Motor Speedway?
Yeah, it definitely was. And coming out of 4, it's a very easy thing to do. And you guys can see, Mark Lloyd doesn't probably intentionally, but just slides right up into him with a little bit of frustration trying to get by. But he's in the lead now, but Kenneth O'Keefe looking underneath him again. He wants the lead back.
And they are duking it out up here in front. Kevin Vaughn down here on the bottom. He's in 4th position, or 6th position in that number 4 machine. He's got his teammate in a 28 machine. That's going to be Mark Arthur up here on the top, guys. But I'll tell you what, they are duking it out up here in the front. Step it back just a couple of notches. 8th position, 71 machine of Vincent Viney. He's got the 12 stuck up on the top side now as these guys battle that out. And then the 00, 1 step back, Daniel Miller. He's looking at all that take place. He's going to take over the number 12 here machine, and for position as well. But I tell you what, with 25 laps in the books here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, 100 laps to go here, guys. So we got a long ride ahead of us still.
Yeah, and Brandon Cody, your points leader after his coming off the win from last week. In 12th place right now and seems to just be stalling out there as he's kind of getting his rhythm, just riding along. But right now with so many laps to go on the board.
And let's talk about Michael Churchman here for a minute, guys. Matt, remember he had his issues down on pit road, spun it around, got some damage to the back end of that truck, but spoiler's in pretty good shape. He's currently in 11th position, just one notch out of a top 10 here, but he's battling a couple of guys up here, going almost looking 3 wide here down the front stretch, takes a piece of the grass with him, manages to hang on. But I'll tell you what, he's going to go backwards here a few steps. The 88 machine in deep trouble as the 81 comes alongside on the top.
Caution out on the speedway for the second time tonight. It looks like trouble over in turn 1.
All right, we'll go around here and see if we can't pick it up and find out what happened. I see Alan Larson in the 24 machine going around here, guys. We'll roll it backwards here and see what we can find here. Looking pretty good coming off of turn 4. He's side by side with the 07 up on the top. Going into turn 1, looks like things just get a little bit too loose on him. He's going to spin it around into the outside wall. Oh, tons of damage to the back end of that machine, especially on the left rear quarter panel. But Alan Larson with tons of damage on that machine of his, 24 truck, back here in 19th position.
I think the man out of all that deserves the praise is Eric Sharp, getting nailed in the rear end, loose, but saving it as he goes into the turn. I mean, that's not an easy thing to do at almost 200 miles an hour.
You bet. I was talking to Alan before the race. He wanted to make sure that we mentioned that 24 machine tonight with that ETV Live paint job on it. I'll tell you what, Alan, this is how it goes here on ETV Live. You just jinxed your own truck here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yeah, JD, everybody down on pit road again. I'm watching Mark Gloy pull into his pit stop flawlessly, it looks like. And I can't imagine that anybody would go here and not take 4 tires after seeing such bad results from the 12 and 71 on that last time by.
I'm watching Kenneth O'Keefe down here. He's in 2nd position. That 73 machine, 4 tires and gas for him as they race off pit road side by side with 27. Looks like O'Keefe's going to get the whole shot here. Good pit stop for that machine. But why don't we go ahead and step away? Let's take our first commercial break of the night. You're watching live, ETV Live. We're at Charlotte Motor Speedway with Championship Online Racing Association. Don't wander off, cowboy. We'll be right back.
Join 5,000 plus other listeners where you can hear everything from big 80s metal to classic rock and roll, country radio, ETV, live sports radio, even adult and unplugged rock and roll. HDRadioNetwork.com, one of the fastest growing internet radio networks, HDRadioNetwork.com. Take it with you, cowboy. Get the mobile app for Android, iPhone, iPad, and all the rest from TuneIn.com.
Hey dude, are you ready to rock and roll? If that's cool, then you need to do it over at HD Radio Network. HD Radio Network, 4 stations broadcasting 24/7 with everything from metal favorites to the 80s classic rock like legendary Leonard Skinner, Electric Light Orchestra, Foreigner, and bone-rattling, skull-crushing rock and roll on hard driving radio. Bear Factory, Stone Temple Pilots, Def Leppard, and a whole lot more. HDRadioNetwork.com. Take your pick and rock your brains out, dude.
If you're a serious online racing enthusiast, you need Derek Spear Design, maker of high-quality, custom-built, and 50 caliber strong simulation racing products like button boxes, shifter pedals, component parts, and more. The advantage a championship sim racing driver needs. Rated 10 out of 10 by Inside Sim Racing TV. Check out his line of top-shelf sim racing products, reasonably priced at DerekSpearDesigns.com, and buckle in for a no.
And we are back live here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. 31 laps in the books, under caution here, guys. And we're going to get restarted here. David Whiteside's going to pick up the green flag with Kenneth O'Keefe up on the outside. Mark Gloy, who is running third in the points behind Brandon Cody, he'll be restarting up here in third as well. Dallas Markle, Mark Arthur make up your top five. Let's get a look at Brandon Cody, find out where he sits. Currently back in 24th position, guys, in that number 30 machine of his on this restart. So he was up around mid-pack, 15th, 14th position up here earlier, but working hard to try to get back up to the front. Pace car is off, set to go green. It comes out, and we are back racing here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. 19 getting a little bit of a slow start here, guys. Kenneth O'Keefe in that 73 machine, he's going to get the better of that 19 truck, but the 19 truck suddenly wakes up, back on the throttle, side by side, coming off of turn 2 down the backstretch.
Yeah, side by side as they went. Still side by side, 19 with the advantage on the inside line. Almost slides up into the 73 as they come out of turn 4 in that second row, quickly catching them, but that 73 seems to be ringing along the 48 of Dallas Marceau with him.
And looking back here in the 6th position, the 14 truck here, this is going to be Mike Montanari back here, just kind of hanging out, minding his own business here, guys. But I'll tell you what, it's been awful quiet here, staying up here in the top 10 for the most part all night. But I'll tell you who's up there with them. These guys driving these TMS machines up here. Kevin Vaughn's going to be one of them in 7th position, that 4 truck. And I'll tell you what, these guys have been hanging out up here in the top 10 pretty much all night long. So we'll see what they can put together here to get up front and take that trophy home. In the meantime, going backwards here a little bit with 34 laps in the books, pretty much single file all the way to the back here. Of course, you get back here to James Brown. He's running in 19th position, way off the pace back here, about 20 or so trucks behind David Wenk up here. He sits in 19th position in that 11 machine, but probably some handling issues on that number 11 truck.
Yeah, I'm looking through the field. It looks like right about 8th place we got a battle going on between the 4 and the 00. Is that kind of single file out? The 4, Kevin Vaughn, now going by the 19, who restarted first.
And the 24 machine of Alan Larson still having problems. Almost got it sideways again coming off of turn 2 or turn 4. And when he hit the trial, well, they're almost losing it, managing to hang on to it as he makes his run off turn 2 down to backstretch. So we'll keep an eye on that 24 machine here tonight with the ETV Live paint job. But in the meantime, let's take it up here a couple of notches. 16th position to 01, like you were talking about, man. That's Jonathan Smith. And he's got a gaggle of cars in front of him. One of them includes David Lano, who's running that other ETV Live paint scheme up here in that 15 truck. But I tell you what, the battle is on as the number 01 takes a look on the outside of the 15, going to try to get him here going into 3 and 4 down the backstretch.
Yeah, that 01 Jonathan Smith stuck on the outside, and here comes the 40 of David Wenk trying to go by him as they wreck all over the front stretch. The 17's around, the 40's around.
Huge wreck right here in the middle of the front stretch up here, guys, and it's going to be Berkey again. Gordon Berkey in that 17 machine. I don't think it started with him though. Take it back a couple of notches. He might have had a little bit of help. Actually, it did start with the 17 machine. He's going to come up the track into the 29. That puts them both into the outside wall, but Berkey takes the worst of it. And of course, when you're doing 100 140, 150 miles an hour and looking in your rear view mirror, all hell's going to break loose as the 40 just broadsides the 17 machine.
And JD, after keep watching as the cars roll by, the 46 just trying to check up for the wreck gets involved. Way after these cars, it stops spinning on the front stretch. So, just repercussions of the wreck being happening ahead and not being prepared for it.
I'll tell you what, I'm counting about 4, possibly 5 trucks. I see the 22, the 40. We know the 17 was involved. 29 with minor damage. I'm looking at the 01 with a header into the outside wall as well. And, of course, like I said, 29 with, kind of minor damage to the right side of that machine. But definitely going to bring the ball peen hammers out on pit road for a number of these guys.
Yeah, and surprised after such a short run, everybody back down here on pit road again. As I'm watching the 48 Dallas Marcel.
You know, it's Mark Martin's strategy. I'm going to take 4 new shoes and a bucket of oats every chance I got to come down pit road. I think that's probably the best racing strategy there is. But, of course, that's coming from an old Mark Martin fan. On the other hand, working with the crew chief out here, I mean, what is the best strategy? You're at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the front stretch, notorious for a slip and slide through the grass there. It's got that kind of a funky dog leg. Got that little straight piece right in the middle of the 2 dog legs out there. So a lot of left-hand pressure on that steering wheel, trying to muscle that machine through that tri-oval up there in front. But like you say, Matt, that could be some desolate territory up there if you let it get out of shape.
Yeah, JD, and we got 4 people new to the front up here, staying out, just trying to get to the position on probably some camera time here. But so coming to this restart, you starting first the 00 Daniel Miller, second 88 Michael Trisma, definitely trying to get up there for the first time tonight after all the struggles. 71 Vincent Vinny, the second time we've seen him do this, try and gain some track position. And right behind him is the number 11 of James Brown.
You bet, some new faces up here in front. And I'll tell you something, I was talking to Alan Larson earlier today, guys, and I can't remember who it was, but somebody said that they wanted 5 minutes extra airtime for every time I said the word cowboy. I don't know who's counting out there, but we'll see. Well, how about HD Radio Network? I'll tell you, home of the ETV Live Radio. The HD Radio Network gives you a variety of stations to choose from, including Big 80s Metal, the All HDR Classics, the HDR Country, and a whole lot more. You can take your pick and rock your brains out, dude. HD Radio Network stations are featured on iTunes Radio, TuneIn Radio, also listed on the Windows Media Guide. Listen today from hdradionetwork.com or take it with you. You get that mobile app from tunein.com. And then once you've done that, you can tune into ETV Live Radio, supported by the HD Radio Network. We feature classic rock and roll every hour, every day. You can also catch live racing events such as we see on Monday nights and Thursday nights here at ETV Live, right from the booth. And you can listen to engaging talk shows every week. And you can check the schedule at etv-eplay.net. There's always something going on. ETV Live Radio featured in the sports section of iTunes. Get the mobile app from tunein.com. And, of course, look for us on Windows Media Guide, ETV Live Radio on the HD Radio Network. And I'm hearing from our statistician slash camera operator slash director slash... I don't know, I hear she even sweeps the floor after we're done here. But Laura Lawson pushing the buttons for us here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway. She comes from LSR TV, joined us here about 4 or 5 months ago. But I'll tell you what, looking pretty good out here, guys.
Yeah, JD, and I'm doing something I haven't done in a while. I'm out here in that chat room on the left-hand side, guys, if you're watching one of our broadcast screens. Don't need a password, just a username. You can connect in there, you can talk with me, and sometimes JD pops his head in there, talk with you guys during the broadcast.
Yeah, you bet. I tell you what, ETV Live's always been an interactive, fan interactive, broadcast company, and we love to mix it up with everybody that's watching, all our ETV Live fans out there, and have a good time up here in the booth. I mean, this ain't TNT, this ain't ESPN Cowboys. So I tell you what, this is ETV Live, and we do it our own way. But pace car coming off of turn 3 here, guys, and like Matt, you were talking earlier, some new faces up here in front. Daniel Miller, Michael Churchman. Now let's talk about him in that 88 machine. He's no stranger to the front row up here either. I've seen what he can do before. Vincent Viney in that 71 machine. He's had his issues here tonight as well. And then James Brown, that number 11 Cora machine. He was running way in the back here a few laps ago. And then rounding out top 5, Kevin Vaughn up here in that number 4 machine as we get set to go back to green flag racing here at Charlotte with 42 laps in the books. The flag is up, and we are back running into turn 1.
JD, I don't know about that. Be watching for a black flag on the 88. He kind of really got a good start over the leader there and way out in front of the line as they came across. So possibly a black flag to the 88 of Michael Treesmo.
Yeah, that was kind of an unusual start there. I'm actually going to roll it back here and look again and just see how big a start he got. In fact, I don't know that the flag was even in the air. I got it playing in slow-mo. I don't even think the flag was in the air when he took off. But then on the other hand, hey, how do we know that that 71 machine just wasn't a little, or actually the 00 wasn't just a little bit slow on the gas pedal?
Yeah, definitely that restart. And Michael Treesmo, if he didn't get the flag, a huge lead here, but the 00 and the 71 on old tires able to hold their position, which is something new because when the 71 and Vinny came down last time and took 2, he just slid straight on back.
And something up with James Brown, the 11 truck, going to be up here in position number 7 from the front to the back, as he let a number of them go past him. So I don't know if this is working out part of his strategy tonight. 45 laps in the books here at Charlotte already, but the 11 truck of James Brown just kind of backed off the throttle, let a bunch of them go by, and now he's kind of falling in line. Still sitting in the top 10, Matt, but we'll keep an eye on that 11 truck here tonight. Another battle brewing back here. Colton Burke, 9th position, 81 machine. And we're going to take it 3 wide. Cora, number 11, stuck in the center, but the 81 backs off, thinks better of it. Almost taking it to a 3 wide situation, but I'll tell you what, smart move by Colton Burke in that 81 machine.
Yeah, JD, looking at the points here, Kevin Van, 101, that's 16 points back. So he's in 3rd place right now. Brandon Cody's all the way back in 17th. So as they stand right now, Kevin Van would probably leave this track your points leader.
That very well could be, and I know what James Brown, he was duking it out with Barry Winburn. They were tied back here, 5th and 6th position, just 17 points off the lead. But Winburn not present here tonight, guys. So this may be a points night for James Brown. And we have, I believe we're going to have another caution on the track, or at least something's happening here.
No caution yet, but the 4 Kevin Van, as I talk about him, hard up into the 48. It's the 48 of Dallas Marcel, who's been running great all night. They both kind of just hug that outside line as everybody goes by, and no caution out yet. And the race officials have just thrown their manual caution, so under the yellow for the 3rd time.
3rd caution of the night here as I watch this replay, and need to roll it back here just a little bit more to see what's going on here. And looks like he's come through the triangle, and the 4 truck gets a little bit loose, out of shape off that second little bit of triangle, going into turn 1, goes across the apron, shoots up the track in front of the 48, Matt, and that puts them both in the wall. And I thought I just saw an explosion come out from under the hood of one of them.
Yeah, I believe that's the 48. The explosion came out from underneath. As he's smoking it coming out of turn 2 and down the backstretch, just trying to get that thing around and see if there's nothing they can do to repair that truck.
And good job by both of these guys holding it up against the wall up there, and that's just exactly what you want to do. Turn it into the wall, stay up on that wall up there, stay out of the way of the oncoming traffic, so you prevent anybody else from getting mixed up in that wreck. But tough night here for the 48 and that number 4 machine of Kevin Vaughn.
Well, biggest news on the track, guys. Triesma still choosing not to pit, even though about 15 cars behind him came down. It looks like there's a few cars coming on up that they're lap down, trying to get a wave around, but that 88 keeping them that 1 lap down.
That's going to be Michael Churchma up there in front of that 88 machine. You're absolutely right. Kenneth O'Keefe, he came down pit road. We'll see what he can do. But I'll tell you what, I wouldn't risk it at Charlotte, any one of these mile-and-a-half tracks. I'm going to come down pit road every time I get a chance and, get 4 tires, especially this early in the race. 50 laps in the books already here. And, we still got a long ways to go here tonight.
JD, I'm just noticing possibly some trouble down here on the pit road. It looks like Van got turned by the 12 as he was entering his pit stall, so not allowing him to get as much damage fixed and causing the number 12 of Bruce Bouchard a lot of positions on pit road.
Issues don't only take place out here on the track, they take place down on pit road too.
You're never a safe zone, really, ever. But,
No.
So on this restart, JD, we got Michael Triesma, who hasn't pit in probably 30 some odd laps, and then you've got somebody like Kenneth O'Keefe who's pit twice in the last 10 laps with all those fresh tires. So here we're probably going to see that 88 fall pretty quick.
Yeah, you know what? I just came out of a race at Texas Motor Speedway. Somewhat similar tracks, mile-and-a-half track, same banking in the turn, pretty much a cookie cutter. And, we saw a couple of 2-tire changes late in the race with not a whole lot of laps left. And a huge mistake. So, those that did take 4 tires versus the one that stayed out, and the one with 2 tires, hey, no question about it, cowboy. I want to come down pit road, get 4 new tires, because without them, you're going to be a sitting duck no matter what. So we'll see what the 88's got for the rest of the field here. Or if he actually comes down. He can come down, I believe he can come down this time by, but he'd be giving up a ton of positions if he does. I don't think he's going to do that. But, I don't know, he could be a sitting duck up there, even with the few laps that we do have since that last caution.
Guys, I'm looking over here on the chat from our viewers. You got some guy by the nickname of Scary, it looks like, and he says watch for the 71 Vincent Vinny. So let's see what he might possibly have up in the sleeve the viewers are trying to get us to watch for.
Yeah, can you give us a little bit more on that? We'll keep our eye on Vincent Vinny. He's currently running in 10th position here, so I don't know, he's been kind of quiet all night here, but, I've kind of watched that 71 machine. He's had some issues in the turns. Of course, a lot of people have. I think this track is much like the one I just flew from over in Texas today. Partway through the run, these guys are starting to get a little bit loose, and you can see it. You can watch that rear end of those machines kind of wiggle around coming off the turns. That's a good indication right there. But I'll tell you what, Churchman's going to bring him to the green flag this time. The lights are out as they work down the backstretch. Mark Montanari, I hope I'm pronouncing that name correct. Kenneth O'Keefe, Daniel Miller still hanging out up there in the front in that 00 machine. And Mark Arthur, they might get your top 5 here on this restart. Colton Burke, Mark Gloy sitting in 7th position, guys, at 27 machine. Now he is 3 points off of the lead, Jay Smith, who sits 2nd from Brandon Cody. I don't think Smith is here tonight either.
Yeah, looking through here, I believe Jay Smith's here tonight. Back
maybe that, I think that's Jonathan
16.
Yeah, Jonathan Smith. I believe that's Jonathan Smith. As the pace car dives off down pit road, Churchman looking for that green flag. as they come through the middle of the trial up here. It's up, it's out, and we are back to racing here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. You're watching it live on ETV Live. This is Championship Online Racing Association. Win a trip to the bank, Cowboy, tonight, Sunday night, as these guys duke it out. Good start into turn one here, side by side to 28 and to 00. Up here in fourth position, battling it out. That's going to be Daniel Miller and Mark Gloy.
Yeah, you get grid rotation by the 73 on the outside as they almost connect, going for the lead. 88 Michael Churchmont down on the inside, Kent O'Keefe on the outside going into one. Remember, like I said, O'Keefe pitting twice in the last 10 laps. Treesma not pitting once in the last 30. And as he gets loose down there on the bottom.
And I'll tell you what, sit and duck it was. The 88 machine gives up the position to Kenneth O'Keefe. O'Keefe out in front with that 73 machine. But let's go back and take a look at that number 71. We were told by somebody in the chat room to keep your eye out for that machine. Side by side with the 19 back here, 12th position. That 71 truck being piloted by Vincent Vinny as we work it through the front stretch here going into turn one. So and we're having, we understand we've got another wreck happening. Oh, big time wreck. David Whiteside is going to be the 19 truck, 12th position back here. It's definitely going to bring out the yellow flag. And I'll tell you, same thing as the last one, Matt. They get side by side and slammed into that outside wall.
Yeah, JD, I think this is a little bit more of the, I said at the beginning of the broadcast that these are smooth transitions. Well, it's really not in just one spot, and the 19 of David Whiteside found it. That's kind of what sent him straight forward down towards the apron onto that 29 truck, and that 29 truck just turns him straight rear end up into the wall. And it looks like he collects your points leader, Brandon Cody, so definitely a hurt there for that 30 truck.
Yeah, I don't think Brandon Cody was looking for that. You know, he started way back in the field here tonight at Charlotte. So he had his work cut out for him, was doing a pretty good job of it, had some handling issues early in the race, but managed to keep it clean. Unfortunately, he gets mixed up with the 19 here, pretty hard hitting that outside wall, so a lot of cosmetic damage to that machine. Of course, he's going to have to pick up a couple of new tires as well. So, of course, I do see a lot of smoke coming up underneath that 30 machine. So, I don't know, he may have more problems than just bent up sheet metal.
Yeah, JD, and Churchma doesn't pit when everybody pits, and everybody stays out, and Churchma's down there on pit road, so I don't know what his crew chief's doing tonight.
I don't know, but I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and step away. Let's take another commercial break as we refill our glasses with some cold drinks up here in the booth. Again, you're watching live, ETV Live. Cowboy, JD Webb, Matt Close, Laura Lawson pushing the buttons for us. Don't wander off, Cowboy. We'll be right back.
Join 5,000 plus other listeners where you can hear everything from big 80s metal to classic rock and roll, country radio, ETV, live sports radio, even adult and unplugged rock and roll. HDRadioNetwork.com, one of the fastest growing internet radio networks, HDRadioNetwork.com. Take it with you, cowboy. Get the mobile app for Android, iPhone, iPad, and all the rest from TuneIn.com.
Inside SimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
Hey, JD here with ETV Live, and let me tell you something. If it's too big for the pickup truck and you need to move it, there's only one trucking company you need to call, and don't bother with the Yellow Pages, cowboy. I'll give you that number in a minute. Manufactured goods, automotive, technical equipment, furniture, even if you need a reefer, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated is the only choice, cowboy. With locations in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, Rancho Cucamonga, California, if you need to move it, store it, and keep it cold, you need to call Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated. Long haul, short haul, or just across town, Gary Mercer has the best trained and qualified drivers to get your load from point A to point B with professionalism and on time. So remember, Hoss, if it don't fit in a pickup truck, you're going to need a real truck, cowboy. Sponsors of ETV Live's Friday Night Showdown, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated, 1-800-668-2980.
And we are back live. And how about that Gary Mercer Trucking? I'll tell you what, Brendan Mercer, a huge fan of ETV Live. Mercer Trucking sponsored the Friday Night Showdown series here on ETV Live a while back. Probably going to do it again here in a few more months so we can get hooked up. In the meantime, back out here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Before I do that, I want to say howdy to Chad Dalton. He's sitting over there in the chat room over there. Good evening, Chad. And while we're at it, Matt, tell everybody about the iRacing Today show. You can join Chad and Trevor Cameron in the iRacing Today radio show. It's hosted by these two guys, and it's by the fans for the fans. It's unabridged, unbiased, and completely off the cuff live radio show about everything iRacing, up close and not personal. Live call-ins, no rules, no backtalk, no BS. iRacing Today radio show Mondays at 8:30 p.m. just before the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series. etv-eplay.net. You can also get it off of the iTunes, Windows Media Guide, and TuneIn Radio. You can get the mobile app from tunein.com. So good evening, Chad. Glad you're along for the ride here tonight. You could have been working up here in the booth. Maybe you tuned in to listen to the Master and Matt work this thing at Charlotte here tonight.
Yeah, we had to blow the old dust off the Master, but as the pace car pulls off pit road, you got Kenneth O'Keefe lined up there in first place. On the outside of him, Mark Montanari, and the green flag drops.
And it does drop. I tell you what, Mark Montanari up here in that 14 machine, lifts up on the outside. He's not slow on throttle. He got right with it. But down there on the bottom, the 28 is going to drive away with the 73 machine of Kenneth O'Keefe. So I tell you what, good start to this one. 60 laps into books here at Charlotte Motor Speedway as we get side by side up here in the front. James Brown on the bottom. Where did you come from, cowboy? I'll tell you what, that 11 machine's got it hooked up, and he's moving here inside the top 10. But he's got to do battle it out with the 69 machine. That's going to be Dale Smalley up here on top. Now, he was the Season 1 championship winner as the caution comes out here again at Charlotte, guys.
Yeah, I see the 16 involved and the 19 of David Whiteside once again. It looks like just coming out of 4. The 16 hits the outside wall in the tri-oval there, so just probably not paying too much attention, comes right down to that 19 truck.
Oh, big time. Let me roll it back here. I got to get a second look at it here, watching the 16 machine. And it looks like he comes off the turn in pretty good shape. But again, I mean, going through that tri-oval, and if you're on the outside, that's probably the worst lane to be in. Coming through these tri-ovals at these cookie cutter tracks. But you're absolutely right, Matt. Takes a chunk out of the wall and then right down into that 19, and then it's a triple axle down the front stretch. We call that an e-ticket ride on ETV Live.
Yeah, guys, while we were on commercial break, I was telling JD a little bit of this. These drivers, they got 2 backup trucks tonight where they can just go down pit road. They give them their truck and they put the old one in the old scrapyard. So I think for the 16th, number 16, he'll be out of luck tonight. But 19, David Whiteside, I think they were telling me he's still got one more truck down there on pit road to try and finish this thing out.
And I'm hearing from race officials that Brandon Cody might have, looks like he was given an end of longest line penalty on that last restart. I'm not quite sure what that was all about. I don't know if we can get more information about that, but Brandon Cody, your points leader, now a lap down here at Charlotte. So not quite sure what's going on with Cody. He was on the lead lap, working up towards the front here just a few laps ago, Matt. And then he's got issues with the 16.
Yeah, definitely some trouble going on there with him. And not doing too good as a points leader to not be out front tonight and having all these issues. So it's definitely going to affect him in the long haul.
Well, this is round 2, a pretty lengthy season here with Cora. Well, lengthy. We're talking about, what, 10, 12 races here with these guys. But I'll tell you what, it ain't over until it's over with. And, you know, they still got a number of races to go here. So, of course, it's the last man standing at the end of the season. He's going to go home with, I think it's a $100 check and a trophy here from Championship Online Racing Association. But you can check these guys out at, in fact, you know, it's probably easier to Google Championship Online Racing Association than it is for me to tell you what the URL is. And I understand, talking to Alan Larson, one of the head guys over here, that they're actually working on building a new website. So I'm sure that will make things easier for these guys. I think they're going to incorporate the iRacing points into the iLeague race, or iLeague, what's it called, iLeagueRace.com?
Yeah, JD, you got the iLeagueRace.com. It's a one-stop shop for iRacing leagues looking for total website and points management. It's got custom scoring protocols, complete scheduling and management of series and events, even a blog set up to recap every race you're in. The iLeagueRace.com also provides drivers and team signups with integration of APIs such as scoring tickers and point updates. So if you got an iRacing league, guys, you should definitely check that out. It's iLeagueRace.com. They just keep everything up to date for you.
There you go. That's what I was talking about. Blow the dust off. What the hell does that mean, blow the dust off? Blow the dust off the old man, you mean?
Oh yeah, man. You sit in those... You gotta sit in those big buildings with scary old, what do they call them? The garments that they give everybody.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, Cowboy, this old man, he's doing a double header today. I just came off of a 100-lap race over at Texas Motor Speedway. And you know what, I might as well put a plug in for this kid. ETV Live got involved with Glacier TV in a benefit event. Kind of a last-minute deal. Only had a couple of weeks to prepare for it. But I'll tell you what, I don't want to get into the whole healthcare thing. But this young man, 34 years old, got a 1-year-old son, a sweet wife named Sarah. He has stage 4 lymphoma cancer, was diagnosed in September, went through chemotherapy, had good insurance, you know, was working, good family man, just starting out with a young family and everything. And then after the 9th chemotherapy treatment, his insurance company calls him up and says, "Hey, dude, you're not covered anymore. We quit." And it takes him all the way back to the beginning. So now he has to pay for all of the cancer treatments that he's gotten. The insurance company refuses to pay for it. And I'll tell you what, that's the most despicable act I can think of. I can't name the insurance company for obvious reasons. I don't want to go off on them, and I have to be standing in front of a bunch of lawyers in a courtroom somewhere. But I'll tell you what, a despicable act by any insurance company. Of course, United States Healthcare. I mean, who would have guessed? But anyway, MorganSchooley.com. I'll spell out the URL here after we take the green flag. But they're looking for donations over there to help this young man out. He has to relocate from Kerrville, Texas to Houston, Texas, so that he can get the stem cell transplants that he needs to try to overcome this stage 4 cancer. But we'll talk more about that here in just a little bit. Pace car pulling off. Tell you what, quickly on the top 5 up here, Kenneth O'Keefe, Mark Arthur, Mark Montanari, Mark Gloy, and Daniel Miller. No change there, guys, as we take the green flag with Kenneth O'Keefe out in front.
Yeah, Mark Gloy, another person up there, running third in the points after last week and trying to pick up the lead this week. But not only that, there's a purse tonight, guys. You got Kenneth O'Keefe, who's almost got it last week, and I'm probably jinxing him again by saying he's going to get the grand prize for the night. But definitely battling out not only for that end of the season win, but for the $30 they'll get after tonight.
And it looks like Michael Churchman with some massive electrical issues may not be able to continue the race here tonight. And don't know. Looks like he's already had to put the machine back on the hauler, guys. So I'm not quite sure what happened to the 88, but he is definitely out of the race here tonight. One thing I wanted to mention up here in front, somebody I haven't seen hardly anything at all up here, was the 07 machine, 7th position, and Gary Bauer. Where did he come from? Top 10 run after that last caution here, guys. So minding his own business, just kind of playing it out here. 68 laps in the book, and suddenly here's the 07 of Gary Bauer sitting up here in 7th position.
Yeah, with 68 on the book, Shady, that means we're on the downward side of this. Ethel Key pulls out to a slight lead, but right behind him for 4th place, you got a side-by-side battle between Dale Smalley and Mark Marineri. And now, JD, Dale Smalley, this has got to be a specialty because I didn't see him up front too much at the plate tracks, and he won last season. So look for him to be up front for the rest of these 12 weeks.
I'll tell you what, you know, where'd that number 69 come from as well? So you're absolutely right. Dale Smalley, last season's championship driver, he's no slouch to the front row up here at all. But Daniel Miller hanging out up here in the top 5, top 10 pretty much all night long as well as we work backwards through the field. I wanted to give a shout out to Bruce Bouchard up here in that 12 machine, just hanging out, doing his thing. Oh, getting side, almost taking a 3 wide. We look like the 11 truck of James Brown. Oh, he's going to get tapped by the 15. Got some shenanigans happening back here on the backstretch, guys.
Yeah, and back where the 48 is after his wreck in a huge pack of cars. And just trying to get back up front. Like I said, these guys got 2 backup trucks. So the 48, Dallas Marcel up front all at the beginning of the race and trying to work his way back up there here as they're a little over halfway. So definitely looking for the win, and he's got a lot of work to do.
Be bad as we work lap 71 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and we've got a few more guys punching into the chat room over here. Want to say good evening. Well, now he's gone. Don't quite know what happened or where he went, but Damico 62 was in there, said howdy, and split. So don't know what the deal was there, but in the meantime, Charlotte Motor Speedway, Championship Online Racing Association. You got the Cowboy JD Webb. I'm up here in the booth with Matthew Close, veteran commentator. Oh, the 15 takes a chunk of the wall coming off of turn 4 up here, guys. So I think the 15 car might be having some handling issues. I'm going to try to go back and take a look at that again.
We got a caution, JD, out here on the track.
And there is a caution on the track, and it didn't come from the 15, I don't believe. I'm hearing Ralph Shipman in the 23 machine as he takes a ride through the grass on the front stretch, and he might have had some help here.
JD, it looks like, no, just some overdrive. Actually, we got to take this all the way back down to the turn 3, JD. He dives it in there low. Looks like he's got a great entry. Nicks the apron and just keeps levitating towards that outside wall. And once he's in that outside wall, the 46 gets into the back of him and spinning down, collecting the 19. So horrible luck here tonight for poor old David Whiteside. None of it his fault, just getting collected up in these wrecks.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, you're absolutely right. Looking at this replay again, riding along with the 23 truck, gets up there in the marbles off turn 4 here, and I don't care what you say, that wall comes up really, really fast when you're doing 150 miles an hour. But goes for that e-ticket ride through the grass. Not a whole lot of damage to that machine as he slaps the inside wall, and a lot of cosmetic on the right side. But I'm sure he'll be down there in the pits for quite some time.
Yeah, definitely repair all that damage, make sure none of that arrow's getting him loose. But right now your top 5, pretty usual as we can see from last year's point standings. You got Kenneth O'Keefe, Mark Gloy, Mark Arthur, and Dale Smalley. You have Mark Monterey rounding out the top 5, JD. So a little ways to go here, a little over 50 laps What do you expect to see here at the end of the race?
Well, you know, like the typical thing we usually see, you know, you get down to about the last 20 laps or so, and that's when they cut them ponies loose and really get after it. So cautions will probably come a little bit faster later on as we get closer to the end. I mean, everybody's looking for that payday here at Charlotte here tonight. But I don't think we're done with this yellow flag yet. In fact, I see the spotter up there on the stand, or the flagman up there on the flag stand, just kind of rolling it up, putting it down there in the corner. So he's not done with it yet. But you know, I think we got some more racing left here to do. 75 in the books. So it's a 125 lap race here tonight. So there's still a lot of racing to come.
Yeah, JD, and word from our reporters down on pit road tonight, and that's actually Laura on the cameras catching this for us. He's got an 8.8 second pit stop, Bruce Bouchard, so probably down there taking 2 tires, a little off strategy from everybody else to come out here and gain his track position, put him up front where he was running for most of the night.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't know that 2 tires is a smart thing to do here at Charlotte unless you've got less than 10 to go at the end of the thing. With 75 laps on the books, you know, like I said, we still got a lot of racing left to do. I mean, if it's position you're looking for, tell your pit crew to get all 4 on a little bit quicker. I don't think 2 tires is the answer at this stage of the game, so we'll have to check, keep a check on that and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, we saw a few people try it at the beginning. 71 of Vincent Vinny, and he's all the way back to 15th right now. So, or actually, Vincent Vinny's back to 17th. So definitely, it didn't probably work out too well of him, especially coming into the later stages. But Gordon Burke up front, but right behind the pace car, ahead of Mark Loy. So, trying to figure out if he stayed out or went down and took 2. It looks like JD just straight up stayed out.
You got it. And Brandon Cody, he's going to get waved around the pace car for that lucky dog position. Brandon Cody, he is your points leader, gets himself back on the lead lap, but Matt, he's been struggling all night long here at Charlotte. Started all the way back in 21st position, worked himself all the way up towards the front. And I say towards the front, not quite to the front, but then gets mixed up in some stuff and winds up all the way to the back again. So here we are in 20th position on the restart, was at 76 in the books. But Brandon Cody, Matt, he's having a tough night here at Charlotte.
Yeah, and even on that new truck he's got there, looks like he might have mixed up a little bit with somebody. He's got the tire skid marks on the left-hand side there. So these trucks are rubbing up against each other, and he's got to start from the tail end on this restart, which definitely going to put a little bit of a hurt in his game.
I hear that. And, of course, Jonathan Smith, he sits second to Brandon Cody in the points. Now, Jonathan Smith, he's up there in 10th position, that 01 machine. So he's chasing down Brandon Cody. So if everything was to end right now, I don't know, but James Smith, or Jonathan Smith rather, might be able to overtake Cody at this stage of the game. But then there's Mark Gloy to have to contend with too. Mark Gloy, he sits third in the points. He's also about 9 points back. In fact, him and Jay Smith, Jonathan Smith, are sitting in the same seat. So, you know, who's it going to be here tonight?
Only time can tell, dude. Only time can tell. I don't think Burke's got a smart plan here. I think he's going to get ran over and cause a little bit of a wreck here with the leaders.
And Scary says that he might be sandbagging. Who was it that you were talking about here in the chat, Scary? Who do you think is sandbagging? Cody? Oh, we're hearing the 71 machine might be sandbagging. Green flag back out here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, but I'll tell you what, Mark Gloy out there in front right now. He took it, got it from Gordon Berkey back here. That 17 machine duking it out. And I'll tell you what, it ain't over until it's over, Cowboys. The 73 machine, Kenneth O'Keefe on the bottom here, coming off the backstretch into turn 3. He's going to get that number, take it to second place. Kenneth O'Keefe up 1.
Definitely up one, and then he's going back down to the bottom as they come out of the trial and into turn one. He's got the position as Mark Williams closes the door and takes himself out. Kenneth holding that back, pulling the inside all the way down the back stretch and into turns three as the 27 slides way high, trying to pull a bit of a crossover, but his teammate 28 Mark Arthur is already back there.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Mark Gloy already stuck at the top side up here. That's not where you want to be here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And you want to be right down there on the bottom. That's the fastest way around this thing. But the 28 machine down there on the bottom now, I believe it's probably going to put Mark Gloy back a position here. So a little bit, not enough. You know, sometimes you say too much too late. As the caution comes out, we're hearing again here, guys. Let's roll it backwards here and see if we can't figure out who it was that brought this one out.
And JD, it looks like Terry Hurley in the number 6. Mixing it up with the 46 as they're in the tribal. The 46 on the high side of that tribal just gets loose and hammers the 6, who's way down almost on the apron. So completely unexpected, Terry Hurley nailed by the 46 of Buddy Waters and just completely took both those trucks out of this race.
You know, and the 46 machine, there's a name we haven't mentioned all night. Buddy Waters, minding his own business, comes to Charlotte. All I want to do is finish, cowboy. And then he gets mixed up in somebody else's stuff. But I tell you what, some bent up sheet metal going home from Charlotte Motor Speedway here tonight. You know, this trial, it just seems to get the best of these guys. And there's a trick for running through these trials. You know, when you're doing 160, 170, 180 miles an hour through the trial, the car's leaning to the outside. All the weight transfer goes to the outside, so you're going to be light on the left side of the vehicle. You know, it's almost like rolling over on you in that trial. And you know, coming off the turn, you got to gas it up real easy, because you just stand on the gas, why it's going to put you, kind of slingshot you through that trial and send you away. But I don't know, lessons learned here tonight. You know, I mean, how many races does it take? But Troy will taking out a bunch of them here tonight.
Yeah, JD, and just it's been a struggle all night. We've seen almost 10 different people, so it's not even like a centralized thing like, oh, this guy doesn't have enough skill. It's nobody does really, because in the end, you get put in the situation, it's going to send you right around in that trial.
You bet. And I'll tell you what, my glass is empty. Time to take a trip to the buffet table back here and get a refill. We're going to go ahead and step away, take a quick commercial break, and we come back. Hopefully we can finish this thing off. You're watching live, ETV Live, the only choice. We'll be right back.
Radio Network. Join 5,000 plus other listeners where you can hear everything from big 80s metal to classic rock and roll, country radio, ETV live sports radio, even adult and unplugged rock and roll. HDRadioNetwork.com, one of the fastest growing internet radio networks. HDRadioNetwork.com. Take it with you, cowboy. Get the mobile app for Android, iPhone, iPad, and all the rest from TuneIn.com.
Inside SimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
And we are back live as the 24 machine of Alan Larson picks up the dog here on this particular caution. That's going to be that lucky dog, Matt. And 83 laps in the books here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway. So we're getting to the short side of things here. Kenneth O'Keefe up in front, Mark Arthur, Mark Gloy, Dale Smalley, last season's championship driver, and then Mark Montanari will pick up your top 5 here on the restart. Trying to keep an eye on this chat room over here. All right, now
JD, looking back in the field, it looks like John Larson got targeted. Trying to figure out who that's quite by, but they just go right up and they take him out under caution.
Oh, I didn't catch that one.
Yeah, dude, 16 of Varus just comes right up under caution, straight up took out old John Larson. He's just riding around the track, and I don't think he's been involved with anybody, so I don't see where the anger's coming from.
Yeah, I don't. Wow. And looks like he's going to take a trip. Actually, Verlis Falcon's going to take a trip to the hauler, guys. Not quite sure what that was all about. You're absolutely right, Matt. You know, these two guys really haven't tangled much at all, so I'm not quite sure what the deal was there.
Yeah, I'm looking at John Larson down on pit road. No backup trucks left, so the foreman's down there trying to get the old truck finished as we go racing.
All right, back underway again. Kenneth O'Keefe out in front with Mark Arthur. But I tell you what, these guys have been pretty much occupying the top 5 up here for a couple of cautions now. Of course, Dale Smalley, he started out way kind of mid-pack or so when the race began here, but worked himself up to the front. Of course, he's the kind of driver that kind of sneaks up on you. You got to look in your rearview mirror, and suddenly he's just sitting right there. So Dale Smalley, no stranger to the front row up here. He works the outside with the number 11. I think that's the no, pardon me, that's the 27 machine on the bottom there.
Yeah, dude, John Larson actually pulling it behind the wall to end his night after being taken out under yellow. But O'Keefe up front, battle for third between Dale Smalley and Mark Gloy. Mark Gloy down there on the inside trying to take away the position.
You bet. And back over to the chat room over here, Scary, he's talking about beer and hot wings. So I don't know, but let's get some more information on the 71. Vincent Vinny, dude, he's still in 16th position. So is he just sandbagging like you said, or what's going on here, Cowboy?
He was strong early on, JD. He's got to kind of use his pitch strategy to get up there, and he can hold his spot, but all night just in the back.
And a huge wobble out of the 29 machine, guys, comes through the tri-oval here. I'll tell you what, that tri-oval is wicked. As we watch 29, it's going to be John Klickner, guys. He hangs on to the machine, but I'll tell you what, that could have been an e-ticket ride. We've seen a lot of those here tonight.
He's back there by Brandon Cody, and Cody's just trying to get every point he can. He's like, I had such a great finish at the Seaver Speedway, he just needs a little bit of help tonight.
And the 88 machine all the way back here in 26th position. I'll tell you, there's a gaggle of trucks back here. The 88, he's had his issues here tonight. That's going to be Michael Churchman as he tries to work that 88 car, 88 truck, Cowboy, back up to the front. But driving it hard, comes off of turn 2 into the outside wall. He'll take a chunk loose for that one. But I'll tell you what, Bruce Bouchard in behind him in that 12 machine, staring at his bumper now. So I'll tell you what, I think these ponies are cutting them loose here a little bit here tonight. 90 laps in the book, so we're definitely on the short side of things here.
Hey, I got a story for you, JD. I talked about him earlier after he wrecked. You got the 48, Dallas Marcel, from the front all the way to the back after a hard wreck, to a lap down, got his lap back, and he's all the way back up to 4th place in these closing 35 laps to go. Is he going to be able to do something?
I don't know. I'll tell you what, if that hasn't earned it, I don't know what has. But Dallas Markle up here in the front of that 48 machine doing a fantastic job. But he's running about, let's call it about 3/10 of a second off Mark Gloy up here. 3/10 of a second. How far is that? Well, dude, that's about 3 or 4 car lengths behind here. Or probably a little bit more than that. It looks like about maybe 5 truck lengths off the bumper of Mark Gloy up there. So although 3/10 of a second doesn't sound like much, it could be a long ways.
Yeah, JD, and from the start of one of these runs to where we get to the end, even just 5 laps in, there's like a 4/10 fall off on these tires. So these guys gotta think about those too, because we get probably on a long green flag run here with fewer cars on the track. It's something you gotta keep your mind on at all times.
Yeah, you know, that's another thing. You know, this could go a couple of different ways. Typically, Matt, what we see at the end of the race is, you know, guys ramping it up. And, you know, it's like somebody just either gave them a couple of shots of Red Bull energy drink, or they finally woke up and come alive. Or it could go the other way, you know, where we see, you know, caution-free race to the end of the race because there are fewer vehicles on the track. So, you know, typically they get ramped up, cautions come out, you know, lickety-split, or the other way, where the fewer vehicles we have, the fewer cautions we have. Watching the 48 machine right now on the bottom, Dallas Markle, he's duking it out with the 28 up on the high side, but a teammate of the 28 up in front is going to be Mark Gloy in that 27 machine. So I tell you what, Markle looking pretty good down here fighting on the bottom.
Yeah, and he finally completes that pass. I'm hearing caution out again on the speedways. I see the pace car pulling off pit road.
And we'll see if we can pull it around here and find it. I see a lot of smoke up here in front of the 40 machine.
Starting with the 07 of Gary Boyer in turns 3 and 4, it looks like. And that might be Dale Somali just getting into the back and has a little help. Gets sent sideways down the front stretch here. And this huge pack of cars just can't navigate their way around and see 1, 2, 3, 4 trucks possibly involved in this wreck.
And it is last season's championship driver, Dale Smalley, gets into the 07, helps him around coming off of turn 4. And I'll tell you what, talk about e-ticket ride. Gary Bauer into the outside wall. Actually, it looks like he might have missed the wall here a little bit. Gets real close up into the marbles, able to keep it off the outside wall. Then he gets nailed by the number 4 machine. That's going to be Kevin Vaughn, guys. Just gets door slammed right there in the grass in the tri-oval. So, you know, I mean, what's going through your head at that point? You know, you're doing as best you can to try to keep it off the wall. You got the brakes locked up. You're working the wheel to keep it, you know, from crashing into that outside wall, and then along comes another vehicle and door slams you.
Yeah, JD, trying to look at some of these pit stops right now. We got a few people staying out here as the race comes to a close, and we got possibly a couple people there, it looks like, taking 2 tires. We'll have to see how our whole ticker thing comes out when we get back to the start-finish line.
"96 laps end of book," so we still got a little bit of ways to go here.
Yeah, JD, but these drivers wouldn't never made it this far without a comfortable place to sit. You can get a simulation racing cockpit designed by a championship race car driver, Bob Earl. Who better than a real race car driver to design your racing cockpit for you? He knows what he's doing with it, being comfortable in every cockpit. He makes the design features fully adjustable seat and frame, an additional monitor stand and shifter mount sold separately, but definitely a proud sponsor of our series here on ETV Live and high quality, affordable virtual racing cockpit. You can go buy one for just $349 plus shipping. You can go see it over there at bobearlracing.com, guys. That's www.bobearlracing.com.
BobEarlRacing.com. I tell you what, I've had the opportunity to chat with Bob several times on the phone. Heck of a nice guy. He lives out here in California, a couple 100 miles north of me, up near San Francisco. And I tell you, you're exactly right, Matt. Who better than a race car driver to build one of these virtual racing seat cockpits? I mean, once I found that out, I mean, I don't care to look at anybody else's. I mean, a race car driver knows what it's like to be in the cockpit of a race car. He knows what it should feel like, what the comfort level should be, because there's, many times you're sitting in front of your computer here for hours and hours and hours, just like the real deal. So, what better way to do it than in a Bob Earl racing cockpit, virtual racing cockpit? So. But I know these things are these racing cockpits are getting to be pretty popular out there, and even the price. I mean, for $350, I mean, this is a Christmas present, Mom, Dad, birthday present. I mean, you're going to spend that much money on what, an Xbox 390 or whatever the hell they are now?
Oh, JD.
I'm not.
Alright, and we have mentioned this. I saw down there on pit road, guys, a couple people taking 2 cars, possibly a couple staying out. I mentioned Colton Burke. He's up there now, new to the top 10. He's probably just entering the top 5 for the first time all night long. Dale Smalley bringing out that last yo is on the point.
You bet. And it looks like David Wink will be the recipient of the lucky dog this time around. It's going to be the 40 machine of David Wink. Yeah, is he going to go? ETV Live booth to David Wink. You got the wave around, dude. Well, it's his option. I mean, if he's here for the fun of it, just supposed to hang out and finish this thing, then, fine. But you want to try to get your lap back and have a shot at it, why, got to get your butt around that pace car, boy. But it doesn't look like he's going to do it.
Yeah, JD, I mean, he's not moving. Just cruising on there. He's going to stay his lap down. He's going to stay out of the way of these guys as they go racing again here. Lights off on the pace car as they're coming out of 4.
You bet, coming out of turn 4, so it's a little late for that lucky dog. Dale Smalley out in front for the first time tonight. Got to pick it up. He's got Kenneth O'Keefe on the outside, that number 73 machine. Colton Burke, the number 81 car. Where did he come from, Cowboy? And that 48 machine fighting off the ill wills tonight. Dallas Markle, I tell you what a fighter here at Charlotte. 48 machine, trying to duke it back and get it up there. Top 5 right now. Mark Arthur, who's been hanging around up here all night long, guys, with Mark Gloy in 6th position. But right now, the 27 machine of Mark Gloy on the bottom with the teammate, the 28 up on the outside. That belongs to Mark Arthur up here. Oh, a little bit of bumper bang in there. 27 gets the better of it, though, as Mark Arthur had to back off there a little bit.
Caution out on the speedway here on lap 100. It's towards the back of the field. A couple cars here turn around going into 1.
I got the 40 down here. Actually, there's more. Oh, we got one upside down. Whoa, we got one way upside down. 40 car didn't have nothing to do with it.
You got the 24, Alan Larson, airborne after he hits the thing. Definitely a repercussion of the wreck, though. We're in where the 22 main cause. He just turns the 11 of James Brown. That's James Brown flipping through the air, going for what definitely probably the most exciting ATV ticket ride you got here going on tonight. Is he just gets driven under by the 24.
And this is one of those times where if we were on the other side of the house, our other button pusher, Magic Fingers we call him, John Wesley, he loves it when these cars go flying through the air. He loves doing that slow-mo stuff. So, it's almost like a real surreal type. I wish we could come up with some music for it, some real soft music as these things kind of slowly go through the air. But I tell you what, tough night for James Brown, and he may be done for the night. I saw the explosion in midair, and that may be ending his night. Only time will tell. 100 laps in the books here at, I was going to say Martinsville. Might as well be Martinsville the way these cautions are flying. Nah, we're at Charlotte Motor Speedway, guys. But I'll tell you what, we were talking about it earlier, Matt. You asked me, what I thought was going to happen. I told you it could go one of two ways. I mean, with fewer cars on track, we may go caution-free to the end. But on the other hand, like we've seen so many times, you get down to the end of this thing, and they start, drivers become a little bit braver, and they start taking more risks and getting a little heavier on the gas pedal, and I think that's what we're seeing here tonight.
I don't think it's a braver thing, JD. I think towards the end, you somehow get this miracle burst of confidence saying that in your mind, you got that little devil on your shoulder saying you're faster than everybody else. So when you tell yourself you're faster than everybody else, you pretty much start to screw yourself over a little bit.
Yeah, you bet. I am the fastest thing out here. I am going to win the race. And this is all being said on lap 100 with 25 to go. I don't think so, cowboy. I'll
JD,
tell you
it
what.
looks like there's still 23 guys out there on the track probably saying that to themselves right now.
Yeah, you think? Hey, I've been in that seat too, But you think you're invincible, and especially these guys up in front. I mean, I think that's where all the action's going to be here in these closing laps. These guys have been riding along, kind of staring at one another's bumpers for a long time here, since about actually before the halfway point. Remember, we had that huge lead change here about 30, 40 laps into this thing here tonight. I believe it was the first or second caution, if I'm not mistaken. That kind of mixed up the whole front row up here. So now we got guys like Kenzel Keefe, Dale Smalley, Dallas Markle, who's been toying around up here in the front pretty much all night. Colton Burke up here in the front for the first time tonight. Mark Gloy, he's been up here for quite some time. But I don't know. Only time will tell.
Yeah,
And,
but the
go ahead.
Yeah, we got 28 caution laps here on the board right now. We're being told by our statisticians on the camera. But I was going to say, JD, just still don't take your eye off that 48 from the front to the back to the front, picking off one spot at a time here on the restarts.
Yeah, and I want to go back to that dude in the chat room over there, Scary. I wonder if he's going to hang around at the end of this thing. Vincent Viney's still hanging around here in 15th position, dude. So, hey, what do you know about the 71 that we don't? Oh, it's Jimmy Johnson. ETV Chad in there from the inside, what's it called? The iRacing Today radio show? I mean, come on, dude. I produced the darn thing. I should know it. Been a long day.
It's a long day for JD. It's a long day, short day for most people sometimes.
Be careful, youngster.
I don't know, guys. I think I might be losing my seat here if I keep making comments like that.
Well, I'll tell you what, we are having some fun, and Cora online. This is the online. Let's see, where's my plug sheet anyway? Championship Online Racing Association. I tell you, it's been a long day. I tell you, they qualify 3 nights a week for a shot at the Sunday Money Series, and this can pay out in a big way at the end of the series. I mean, Dale Smalley went home with a $100 check last season for the championship, winning the championship. So there is some cash on the line here, guys. So if you think you got what it takes, get into it, and Google Championship Online Racing Association. Their URL is a little bit tough to remember, but get a shot at the bank, and see if you can qualify in on one of these things, and be here for the Sunday Money Series. A lot of returning drivers from week to week to week, so these guys looking for that trip to the bank. Getting ready to take this thing to green flag one more time here tonight, Matt, and Kenneth O'Keefe out front with Dale Smalley. Dale Smalley sitting second seat on the outside this time around. Dallas Markle, Colton Burke, Mark Gloy picking up the top 5. Flagman, he's looking down, making sure everybody's lined up properly. The flag goes up in the air, and we are back racing at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yeah, back racing. Kenneth O'Keefe staying out front. Dale Smalley there. Falling a little bit back on the restart as you got Dallas Marcel already going by him on the inside line, able to clear him coming down the backstretch.
You've got 2x2 all the way back here to the 00. That's going to be Daniel Miller. Daniel Miller spent quite a bit of time up in front. He's now running just inside the top 10 in 10th. So looking for a hopeful night here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway. But behind him, Brandon Cody, 11th position. Where did you come from, Cowboy? Brandon Cody has had so many issues here tonight, Matt. Unbelievable. And just one position out of a top 10 here as he stares at the bumper of the 00 up in front, looking on the inside. Can't get there to get the job done. Brandon Cody, who sits at the top of the points, has had a difficult night all night, now staring at the bumper of the number 10 position car here at Charlotte.
Yeah, we got 19 to go here as across the line. And JD just thinking, all this time these drivers spent out here practicing this week to come out here and just have to keep dominating this race, revive himself. And then you got people like Dale Smalley just trying to get that strategy working, not having it quite work. Is the 27-28 bump draft all the way down the back straightaway out into the turn. Definitely a sight to see here at Charlotte.
Yeah, bump drafting at a mile-and-a-half track. When does that ever happen? But I'll tell you what, Mark Arthur up here in 4th position in the number 28 machine. You know, he's got his teammate up in front. That's going to be Mark Gloy. Gloy having a pretty decent night. And this is all points runners up here, guys. Mark Gloy, he's sitting in 3rd position behind Smith coming into Charlotte here tonight. So that's going to be Jonathan Smith. Now, Jonathan Smith is, I believe, behind the wall. Remember, he got caught up in caution here about 10 laps ago. So, unfortunately, I think the end of his night ended early here at Charlotte.
Is actually at the 71 of Vincent Vinny, the person we've been told to watch down there all the way in the back of the last car on the lead lap. So, Scary, I think you got to pick a new driver here for this series because this guy's not going too far to the front.
Yeah. Okay, so much for that. In the meantime, I'll tell you what, Dale Smalley going backwards here a little bit. He just gave up a position to Bruce Bouchard. Smalley in 6th position here in that 69 machine. Don't quite know what's going on there, but wouldn't think that Dale Smalley would be giving him up that easy this late in the game. So but out in front of Bruce Bouchard up here in 5th position, it's going to be Mark Montanari. Now he's quite a ways off the leaders up here, almost a second, actually a little bit over a second, about a second and a tenth off of Mark Arthur up here, and or rather the leader. He's about a second off of Mark Arthur. So that's about what, 60-70 truck length maybe? Maybe not that much. But Mark Montanari sitting here in 5th, he's got a long ways to go if he hopes to catch up to MacArthur and have something to those leaders up there.
Yeah, and definitely you're just staying single file drafting with Bruce Bouchard behind him is going to help him pick up the pace a little bit. Their last lap by, though, 0.3 of a second slower than the leaders. Looking up front here, you got the 27 Mark Loy, who's made his way back around the 48 of Dallas Markel. And just a heavy race out of both these drivers up front all night long, except for when they both had their little bit of issues there in the center. Coming to a little over 10 to go, trying to make that charge for the lead.
I'll tell you what, Dallas Markel staring at the bumper of that 27 machine up here in front. Almost looked like they were making contact, but not quite, Cowboy. Can you bump draft at a mile-and-a-half track? I got a funny feeling that Dallas Markel and Mark Lloyd might be trying that out sooner or later, but I don't think that's called bump drafting. I think that's something called beep, beep, move your ass, maybe. But I'll tell you what, looking for a good finish here at Charlotte Motor Speedway here tonight with the Championship Online Racing Association. Let's step it back here a couple of notches. Bruce Bouchard, 6th position, 12 machine. He's battling out with the 14. That's going to be Montanari up on the top side up here. Bouchard was looking down low, coming in off of turn 4. Couldn't get the job done. they're sailing off into turn 1 through the front stretch right now. But I tell you what, the 12 machine, I don't think he's done here yet tonight. Oh, makes a move to the outside. Actually, I think he powered in too hard and slid up. That's going to give Mark Montanari a shot at getting away from Brouchard. So I'll tell you what, Matt, bad mistake by that 12 machine. Just drove it in too hard. I thought he was looking for a shot at the outside, but couldn't do it. Actually pushed up into the wall, had to get off the throttle, and that let that 14 machine get away from him.
Yeah, JD, as they take the lap that sets them for 10 to go. Mark Loy running exactly the same laps as Kenneth O'Keefe, both running 30.3s right now. So, JD, staying even. The guy that's off the pace a little bit right now is Dallas Merskell. He's back there running 30.5s, just probably wore out those tires a little bit, trying to chase down Kenneth, who's been the fastest car all night, the class of the field, teaching these guys how to get it done.
You bet, and I'll tell you what, watching Mark Loy, he goes into turn 1 expertly as he comes off of turn 2 down the backstretch. He's trying to match Kenneth O'Keefe up here, turn for turn up here, but you're absolutely right. Lap time's pretty much the same, but Mark Loy just pedaling, doing everything he can to try to get that 27 machine up to the bumper of O'Keefe. Don't know if he's going to have time to do it here as the laps start running out.
Right behind them, JD Bouchard back up to the bumper of the 14 of Montanari as they go into 1. They're nose to tail. And just that aero drag, but right behind him there's a battle for 7th place. Dale Somali on the inside of Daniel Miller. Or excuse me, it's the other way around. Daniel Miller's on the inside in the 00 as they go on to 3. And Somali looks to complete the pass on the high side.
You bet Daniel Miller's going to lose that position to Smalley. So Smalley, oh yeah, a little bit of thank you ma'am there from the 00 there. Hey dude, what was that all about? So that was no bump draft, I'll tell you that. That was a hey, I'm still here as the 00 fighting back on the inside, taking a peek down the backstretch. They're going to get side by side here with the 69 machine as the laps start winding down. So the 00, Daniel Miller, he ain't done with this number 69 car of Dale Smalley yet, Cowboy. I'll tell you what, Smalley trying to hang on to the outside does an expert job keeping it, but just doesn't have the speed to off the turn as the 00 fights back on the front stretch and gains that position back.
Yeah, Smalley probably trying to set him up here, knowing he can't do anything on the high side with the laps winding down. He has to kind of give him that little bit of an oomph to give him that opportunity to get back on the inside.
John Clicker back here in 10th position. Another battle shaping up. The 81 machine up on the high side. It's going to be Colton Burke in 9th position. 29 on the bottom. Looking, driving hard here. The 81 holding the throttle down, Cowboy. I tell you what, that's some hard driving coming off of turn 4. Got to keep the left-hand pressure on that steering wheel as they work through the tri-oval. Into turn 1, the 81 is going to scrape the wall. But I tell you what, Colton Burke is absolutely on the throttle, keeping that number 29 at bay on the bottom. I'll tell you what, that 81 machine of Colton Burke got some horsepower, Cowboy.
5 laps to go. Kent O'Keefe has set sail as he's pulled out to almost a 1-second lead over Mark Loy. Mark Loy falling a little bit back towards Dallas Marcel. And Mark Arthur's teammate just way off the pace in a world of his own.
You bet. And I'll tell you what, the battle's still shaping up back here to the 81 machine. He gives up the position to John Klickner. He gets that whole shot and comes out the winner, 9th position. But look behind you, Cowboy. Here comes the 71 of Vincent Viney. Where you been all day, Cowboy? Just one out of a top 10 here. The 71 machine looking on the inside of the 81 truck. But I tell you what, that 81 truck's got some horsepower under the hood. Colton Burke fighting back, staying on that top side up there as we come to 123 laps in the books. 2 to go here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yeah, as Kenneth O'Keefe's heading through 3 and 4 to come to take 2 to go, JD. Definitely smooth sailing for him, but Gloy is starting to get a mirror full of a bright yellow truck. If he makes one mistake, he'll be there, but looking back through the field, our closest battle is still going on between the 81 and the 71. Colton Burke on the outside, back to the inside, just trying to block every possible passing lane.
You bet. That seems to be the only battle on the truck. Next time by, it'll be the white flag. After that, the caution will not fly, Cowboy. And it's a pretty good battle back here. 71 and 81. 81 on the top side. 71 looking on the inside, coming off of turn 4. Down the front stretch, going to pick up that white flag here. O'Keefe's got it in the bag here, but the battle happening right here. This is going to be for 10th and 11th position here, guys. Colton Burke wants to keep it, and the 71 machine, he wants it bad, but I tell you what, coming off of turn 2, down the backstretch, Vincent Viney can't get the job done. Burke throws, looks like Burke threw the block on him coming off the turn. Here he goes again, drops down to the inside. Last time around, Cowboy, this is for all the money, and at least for the position here tonight. But I'll tell you what, Vincent Viney did everything he could to try to get the job done. Couldn't do it. But what a terrific race here in 10th and 11th position. In the meantime, out in front, Mac, it was Kenneth O'Keefe's day with Mark Gloy, Dallas Markle. What a race these three guys had tonight.
Yeah, an amazing race by all of them. They've all faced the struggle of having to fight their way through cars. Kenneth O'Keefe was not the strongest qualifying all the way back in 6th. I mean, that's still pretty up there, but to be able to put himself where he was to finish first. And JD, as they line up on the line for their photo opportunity, the first, second, and third place drivers.
You bet. I'll tell you what a night of racing here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. 125 laps. This has been the Championship Online Racing Association Sunday Money Series. And I'll tell you what, we're going to go ahead and step away, take a commercial break. When we come back, the post-race show with your top 3 finishers. So don't go away, Cowboy. You want to stay right there. We'll be right back.
Radio Network. Join 5,000 plus other listeners where you can hear everything from big 80s metal to classic rock and roll, country radio, ETV, live sports radio, even adult and unplugged rock and roll. HDRadioNetwork.com, one of the fastest growing internet radio networks. HDRadioNetwork.com. Take it with you, cowboy. Get the mobile app for Android, iPhone, iPad, and all the rest from TuneIn.com.
InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
Hey, JD here with ETV Live, and let me tell you something. If it's too big for the pickup truck and you need to move it, there's only one trucking company you need to call, and don't bother with the Yellow Pages, Cowboy. I'll give you that number in a minute. Manufactured goods, automotive, technical equipment, furniture, even if you need a reefer, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated is the only choice, Cowboy. With locations in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, Rancho Cucamonga, California, if you need to move it, store it, and keep it cold, you need to call Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated. Long haul, short haul, or just across town, Gary Mercer has the best trained and qualified drivers to get your load from point A to point B with professionalism and on time. So remember, Hoss, if it don't fit in a pickup truck, you're going to need a real truck, Cowboy. Sponsors of ETV Live's Friday Night Showdown, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated, 1-800-668-2980.
And we are back live here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And I'll tell you what, I had to saddle one up and get on down the front stretch. What a pretty picture that is. Top 3 finishers sitting right down here on the start-finish line. Let's start out with our third place finish here tonight. I'll tell you what, Cowboy, what a night you had at Dallas. And that 48 machine had your issues here tonight. 125 laps later, sitting up here in the top 5 with a solid third place. How'd you do it?
I was up there in the beginning. I was racing good. Then I got caught up in a wreck. Managed to get the lucky dog, and I got back up here. I'm just happy to be here.
You know, all night long we've been watching. Looks like a lot of these guys had some pretty big issues coming off of turn 4 through the front stretch. Is there a trick to this track, or you know, how did you manage to get it worked out to the point where you could keep it safely on all 4 wheels?
Just try to angle it down in the corner and keep it low as long as you can coming out, so you don't drift up into the wall too bad.
Yeah, I know you carry a lot of speed coming off of turn 4, and that wall does come up pretty quick. But, you know, coming through that trial was kind of a trick sometimes. But starting out on the pole tonight, who made it happen for you, bud?
Sorry, what was that?
I say starting out on the pole tonight, managing to stay up front for pretty much most of the night. Who made it happen for you?
Oh, a friend of mine, John Stein, helped me out with the setup. I made some tweaks. Just some good help from the guys from Cora here.
Outstanding. I'll tell you what, solid third place finish tonight for Dallas. I'm going to kick it on over to Matt Close. I believe he's standing by with our second place finisher tonight, Mark Gloy.
Yeah, finishing second place tonight, Mark Gloy. Mark Gloy going to be your points leader, most likely after leaving this race in the 27 machine tonight. A strong race all night, Mark Lloyd, up there with your teammate, the 28, I believe. How was the truck feeling for you?
Oh, the truck was great, man. Mark Arthur and Kevin Vaughn, they put together a really good truck for us for this run, and it was just a lot of fun racing with them.
In the end there, it looked like you were getting on okay for a little bit, but not quite towards the end. What do you think you could have done probably a little bit different in that truck to help you get to the circle?
Man, I'm gonna have to catch up with O'Keefe after the race and get some of that magic tire stuff he's got, because yeah, I don't know anything else we could have done. We ran hard, we ran solid, and just not quite enough there.
All right, Mark. Mark, some hardship for your other fellow racers here in the race tonight, but you only being, it looks about 9 points back coming into this race and finishing where you did. You'll be the points leader leaving here. Is there anybody you got to thank for getting this done for you?
Oh, absolutely. Team Twisty Motorsports, Moose Trail Homes, Moose Trail Property Maintenance, Cora for putting on this great series, and of course the guys that work out all these setups for us, Kevin Vaughn and Eric Duffy and Mark Arthur.
All right, guys, it's your second place finisher tonight, Mark Gloy, staying up front all night long, going to be the points leader here, but JD's caught up with the real winner of the night, Kenneth O'Keefe, having the comeback from the last week.
Absolutely, and I'll tell you what, coming into this race here tonight, I believe he was 9th in points, about 20 behind the leader up here, but this is a huge points night for Kenneth O'Keefe. Kenneth, congratulations on the first place finish here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Tell us how you did it.
Well, I came into the race, knew I had a very strong truck, and made a few mistakes in qualifying. Ended up qualifying 6th, which wasn't what I hoped for, but we moved up pretty quickly on the start, and then just tried to stay up there all race with the cautions, different people staying out, taking 2, etc., and stay out of trouble, and here we are.
Staying out of trouble. I'm going to ask you the same thing I asked our third place finisher, Dallas. You know, coming off of turn 4, that trial will seem to take its toll tonight on a number of trucks. What's the secret coming off 4 and making it safely through that trial into turn 1?
That's the whole thing to this track, that we've been running it in the 8 car a little bit too, and basically you want to make sure you can get a good run off 4 without being loose, and have the rear end under you, so you can get off there straight and comfortably and make passes and be safe.
And like I said, you know, coming into the race here tonight, you were 9th in the points, moving up probably a couple of notches here tonight. How does that make you feel?
It's most definitely what I was looking for, hopefully to move up the rest of the season and contend for that championship.
Outstanding. And I'll tell you what, Cowboy, who makes it happen for you?
First and foremost, my iRacing teammates. Team Evolution. Douglas, Justin Douglas, Randy Hockaday, Thomas Dacus, Nick Gortson, all those guys, and then my Cora teammate, Brandon Cody. And also I'd like to thank Cora for just putting on these great races and letting us have fun here.
Outstanding. Team Evolution. Kenneth O'Keefe. He's going to be taking home the trophy and going to the bank tonight from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Matt, and I'll tell you what, 125 laps later, it did take its toll, but all in all, pretty decent night here in Charlotte. What do you think?
I think it was a good race all night long. Hard fought battle by most of these drivers, able to really work their way through the field and get that maneuverability, which is kind of like a great deal to see with how much people could struggle through that trial.
You bet that seemed to take its toll on a lot of good drivers here tonight. But I'll tell you what, Cowboy, we ain't over yet. A lot of racing coming your way on ETV Live. Tomorrow night, 9:30, Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series right back here in Charlotte. So I guess I'm not going to be giving up my Motel 6 room quite yet. And I'll tell you what, before that, you want to tune in on ETV Live Radio, iRacing Today radio show with Chad Dalton and Trevor Cameron. Almost got them mixed up there. But I tell you what, they got a pretty cool radio show. That happens at 8:30, just before we kick off the green flag at Charlotte Motor Speedway. So tune in early, catch the radio show, and stay with us and for the Full Throttle Cup Series at Charlotte Motor Speedway. My name is J.D. Webb, the Cowboy they call me. Matt Close working the booth with me tonight. Laura Lawson, we'll have to figure out one for her. She's downstairs in the holler pushing the buttons. Wonderful night here in Charlotte. We'll catch you next time on ETV Live.